guys, welcome back to Bookmarked by Jen. I am Jen, and I've got some recent reads that I want to share with you today. So let's go. Alright, the first book that I want to talk about is Inked and Lies by Gianna Darling. It is, I don't even know at this point, the 5th book in the series, the 6th book. I don't know. I'll put it on the screen here. I need to finish this series. I think I have 2 more books left. 2 more. I am really excited. I feel like I don't want to leave this world, so it's really hard for me to binge it, but I need to. But I also have some things that are in the works that I'm working on, so I kind of have to intertwine these next 2 books where I can, but they're in a priority status. Let's just say that. But I have finally finished Inked and Lies by Gianna Darling. This one follows Nova and Lila. Nova is Jonathan's nickname. They call him Casanova because he is the epitome of the ladies' man, but they shortened it to Nova, so that's where that comes in. I feel like this book is a favorite of a lot of people. All these books are fantastic to me, do not get me wrong. I don't think that this one is my favorite, though, of the series so far. I have a huge soft spot for my man Zeus. A huge soft spot. I love me some King and Cressida. Like, their relationship, and they make me cry. They're my emotional couple, but I have this I love me some Zeus, so I'm a little partial to him. Lila is actually Harley Rose, or HR's best friend, who is Zeus's daughter. So Lila and Nova meet when Lila is very young. I think she's like 6 or 7 when Nova's family moves in across the street, and she immediately falls in love with him. He is a bit of a protector and her brother's best friend, and so she falls in love with him in her little kid mind very, very early on, but of course that love grows through time, and then she is just head over heels when she is of age. He is her brother's age, so when they meet, there is about, I think it's like a 9 or 10 year difference, and he views her as a little sister. He's always been a little bit more protective of her. His family takes Lila and her brother in as part of the family as well, so it really is like they're siblings. But Nova and Lila have always had this really intense relationship and very close relationship. So Nova's taken aback when he realizes that Lila likes him like that. It's like a hump that he needs to overcome, and then also it's like she's too good, and I would never want to mess anything up. So there's that connection as well. But when Lila puts herself in harm's way for the fallen MC to out some wrongs in the community that they've been dealing with, Nova's not okay with it, and he starts to see her in a different light, and he has to overcome his insecurities as well. So that's their story, and again, just like every other book in the series, it's chock full of like yumminess and spiciness that's so good. And there's that like suspense aspect as well, because they are in an MC group, and I really like that you get to see the grittiness of a true MC gang, so I always appreciate that aspect as well. With these 2, I really loved the way that she brought in like the tattoos. He is a tattoo artist, and she basically is his canvas, and like the story that those tell. It was just, I loved it. I gave this one a 4 stars. It was great. It was a great book. The next book that I want to talk about is a book that, yeah, I should have read a while ago. I know that I should have read a while ago, but with hyped books, like a lot of us do, sometimes I tend to shy away from those books because I have so much anticipation for them. That was the case with this book, as well as I really wanted to love this book, which is technically a series. But, well, a fun fact about Jennifer is that I love true crime. I have always loved true crime. Before I became a romance junkie, my books of choice were psychological thrillers and mysteries. I love those. Now, I always really gravitated towards those romantic parts of those books, which I think that was like like my subconscious telling me that, girl, you need to read some romance. So even though I don't read a lot of psychological thrillers or mysteries anymore, I watch a lot of true crime documentaries. I like crime shows as well. So there was that aspect as well when we're talking about this book. But the biggest thing is, like, I really wanted to love it, and I was so afraid that I was afraid. I knew that I was going to read it at the beginning of the year. I tried to get to it by the end of last year, but I just, there was no way. But I got to it. And I am talking about the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey. I am so sad that we will not be getting any more content from this author because, my God, the writing was impeccable. I could say that I'm mad at myself that I didn't get to this sooner. I'm just glad that I finally got to it and that it did not disappoint. I have never been so invested in a serial killer. I have never been so invested in a female serial killer and her revenge. It was fan-freaking-tastic. It is a series. Guys, it's a bind-up, so I'm just probably going to call it a book. Like, you understand that it's a series, but I am holding one book, so I'm just going to probably say book from now on. But, oh my God, fan-freaking-tastic. I mean, the way that it's written, the plot twist, the complete of the series. I loved getting inside of Lana's mind. We are following Lana, and we also get the point of view of her boyfriend Logan, who just happens to be an FBI profiler, and he's like pretty fantastic profiler. They meet by chance. It is not like she went and seeked him out so that she could infiltrate his work. She really just doesn't want to know anything about his work. It's just, it so happens that they met and there was this connection. For Lana, that is a connection that she never thought that she would ever have because of the events that have happened in her life. So that is very intriguing to her, and that draws her in, that she can have these feelings again, because she never, it wasn't made a part of her anymore. That part of her was taken away. But Lana is on a revenge mission for some truly heinous things that have happened to her. That was something that was really fun too. I liked that you didn't know the entire story until like further on in the series. It was, I mean, really, I think it was like was it the fourth book or the fifth book where you finally got like the full picture. You would get little snippets here and there, and you're like, Jesus, like, they went through some shit, but like, how bad was it? What, like, you're getting snippets, you're getting like little flashbacks, but you're not getting the full picture, but you just know it was bad. But you find yourself rooting for this woman who is essentially doing some pretty she messed up. Like, she is messed up. Of course, we're not condoning serial killers, but like, what she's doing is almost cleansing. You're rooting for her to win. You want to see people pay. It really is one of the best books that I've read. I'm trying to coax my mom into reading it because it's just, yeah, there's some really graphic situations and trigger warnings, like, because your mental health matters. But it was, I don't know. Lana is like the perfect heroine for me. And how smart she is physically and mentally, what she does to prepare for all of this, and how her brain, the way that it works. Logan, the way that, honestly, he's so smart, and if he would just seriously, like, what is it? Is it a song? That song, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes? It seriously is true. If, like, the smoke would clear, he would see that who he's hunting is seriously, like, in bed with him. And then also there's like that aspect of there's other things going on. So you're getting little pieces of like other cases that he's working. It was fantastic. 5 out of 5 stars. Like, it was perfect. I do give it a 5 stars for spice because of the content matter as well. But if you haven't read it, oh my God, read it. It was amazing. What do we have next? Okay. So the next book that I read, I actually listened to it and read it a little bit, and this was Mr. Hookup by Marnie Mann. It is a part of an interconnected series. This has been on my TBR for a little bit. of time, I just ended up picking it up. This is about Drake and Easton. I'm gonna be honest, when I first started listening to this, I was like a little bored, and I was almost thinking like I'm not gonna enjoy this because it was like immediate insta love, and I was thinking where are we gonna go from here? However, it like flipped a switch on me, and there's this time jump, and it totally threw me for a loop, and it was like the saving grace for it, because then I was like, oh shit, why? Like, why did we jump this time? What happened, and like just why? So that kind of got me invested again in the story. So when we meet Easton, him and a few of his college buddies have started up this dating app where you can remain anonymous until you don't want to be anonymous, but you take a test and you match up, and you can talk and converse on the app and really get to know the other person, and you can be completely anonymous just in case, because there's some like freaking weirdos out there. Easton matches 100% with this person. Now they don't know each other's names because they've used usernames. They do meet up at some point, but they meet at a masquerade ball where they can remain anonymous, and they have amazing chemistry. They hit it off. They're constantly talking. But then about a month in, our heroine like almost ghosts him. Like she says, like, I'm gonna be absent for a while, and then it just continues, and then it's just she drops off the face of the earth. And then we cut to like 4 or 5 years later, and they are a really big company now. They're doing really, really well, but they want to roll out internationally, and they are trying to hire a programmer that can help them do that. Enter in Drake, who just happens to be our heroine. Now, even though they met at a masquerade ball, so they've never seen each other's faces. They don't know each other's real names, and there is this like air of familiarity with them, but they just can't pinpoint it, which I thought was like a little bit weird, because like you basically, both of these people, I feel like, fell in love pretty hard, and then they just couldn't remember. It's like, how do you forget that? Anyway, so when they do figure it out, Drake's already working for this company, so there is a workplace romance. It's a little bit forbidden, and then some other stuff happens. It was really interesting to see like why Drake disappeared and where they're going to go from here. I think on Goodreads I put this as a 4-star. I'm going to stick with that. It could be like a 3.5 to 4 stars. It was entertaining. Let's move on to my next book, which is The Tryst by Lauren Blakely. This was my pick for January's Buddy Read. This follows Nick and Layla. This is a part of an interconnected series as well. I really enjoy Lauren Blakely. I think like typically when I've read Lauren Blakely, I've actually listened to a few of her books, really enjoyed them. This one kind of fell short for me. The connection and the chemistry was there with these two. That was there, but I had a few issues with a couple of the things in the book. And my biggest issue, though, was like after about 85% of the book, it got really kind of boring for me. Like I was ready for it to be over. Honestly, the book could have stopped at 85%. I feel like the rest of the book just was like fluff almost. The girls from the Buddy Read really enjoyed this book. I think they gave it like a 4.5 stars. And I did enjoy this book too. I really appreciated that I could feel the connection between Nick and Layla. The spicy scenes were absolutely amazing. It's just, I mean, reading is really subjective, and I guess I did enjoy this book. And honestly, I'm saying like it is a 4-star book. It is an absolute 4-star book. But for me and like my rating system and how I rate books, if I have issues with certain parts of the book, or like maybe more than one issue, or like I get bored with the book, I just can't give it a 4-star, because that's not 4 stars to me. So that's just like my personal preference and like for what I do for myself. However, I will say like this book is a solid 4 stars for sure. It's just for my rating and like my rating system and how I figure it out, it was a 3.5. So again, it's subjective, but it was a really good book. Like I did enjoy it. I just had a couple issues, and then that's it. Okay. This next book, I wasn't going to put on this video because it is a part of another video that I'm working on that I'm like really, really close to completing the reading for. I'm really excited about that video. And this is a part of that. But I couldn't not talk about this book. So I'm going to try not to go off on a tangent about this book because I want to leave my tangent for that other video. But I just couldn't not talk about this book. And that is That Sick Love by Jessie Hall. Jessie Hall I love this author. I love the way she writes. I love the way her mind thinks. I love the way she weaves a story. I love everything about Jessie Hall as an author. Her books, like, absolutely amazing. Kid just came out on audio, and I think that I'm going to listen to that one. Again, I don't want to go too far into this because I want to save that for this other video. But when we talk about trigger warnings, these are the types of books that I would say that if, like, you have any trigger warnings, this is the type of book that you should really make it a point to look at the trigger warnings for. I know that some people shy away from this because of the subject matter. I tend to not read reviews before I've read a book. However, I will skim sometimes and very, very quickly skim. But what I was seeing was, as far as like lower ratings, were because of the subject matter. And I think that maybe could be, maybe people aren't reading the trigger warnings or paying attention to them or adhering, or really listening to them. But religion is a very touchy subject, and I knew that it was very heavily based around some type of religion in this book. I wasn't quite for sure what, because I wanted to go in a little bit blindly. However, what I told myself was I want to go in with an open mind. Like, I know that it's probably going to revolve somehow around religion, and that could mean a lot of many things, but let's go in with an open mind and let's just go in and listen and read the story. Like, let's get the story. I originally, when I finished this book, gave it a 4 stars, but since I have finished it, I can't get it out of my head. So I've gone in and upped it because I had to. So it is now a 5 stars. I am putting a 5 stars for Spice because, again, like with my book series, because of the content. It is very it's dark, like there is some dark content, and yes, it does deal with religion, and so it is very dark content, but it is a 5 for so many different reasons. It is a 5 for the overall story and the plot twist and the way the story is told and the connection between Arrow and Brianni and the messages that, like, I got from this book. I mean, you, again, reading is subjective. You may get no messages, you may get different messages, but the messages that I got from this book, it was just so good. I love it. I love it. And it had nothing to do with the religious part. It was mainly the connection between Arrow and Brianni. It was their story and the way that they came together. Their story, like the story that they told, and how individuals can, overcome a lot of many things, how we deal with individual pain, how we heal from individual pain. Just the story of itself, aside from the religious aspects, like that is what has stuck with me. Again, it is going to be a part of another video, and I'm going to go a little bit further into how I feel about this book and what I think about this book, but it was amazing. Do with it what you will. If it is too much of a trigger, don't read it. Like, every book is not going to be for everybody, but maybe try to give it a go. I really liked it. So I'm just saying, maybe give it a shot. It is dark. If you like dark, give it a shot. There are trigger warnings. I absolutely recommend that you look through those trigger warnings because, again, mental health matters. Your mental health matters. So please. So that's it. Those are all the books that I'm going to talk about for my recent reads. I am very close to completing reading for this other video that I mentioned. I'm really excited about that video. Our buddy read for February, I just did a short video about that where I tell you about what we're reading and when it is and all that. So go check that out. I'll leave it in the description box below, as well as in a card for you. This one, I'm really excited about this book, you guys. So definitely go check it out, read it, and come join us on the live, because we would love to hear what you have to say about the book. All the books that I've talked about today will be linked in the description box below. Yes, I do earn a very small commission if you use the link, so thank you for supporting this channel. What else? Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment before you leave, and tell me, I don't know, tell me like what your favorite recent read has been this year, and I will catch you guys in the next video. But until then, happy reading.